One day, while I was talking with an uncle of mine who works as a lab tech, you know, the ones who draw blood in clinics and hospitals to run tests. He told me about something that happened a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3, I can't remember exactly, before all this disease situation started in the world. One of those nights he was on the night shift because of rotating hours, and there was very little work. It was already past midnight. The pending tests and analyses had been finished a while ago, so he had the habit of going to sleep for at least an hour in a small storage room right next to the generator room. You can imagine the noise that came through those walls. Still, because he was exhausted, my uncle could usually fall asleep for a bit. He would go in, arrange some boxes, take out a little sheet they kept there for exactly that purpose, and sleep. But that night was different. Once he was asleep in that completely dark storage room, suddenly he started hearing someone whispering in his ear. He couldn't understand what was being said, but he knew it was a voice, like someone was muttering something he couldn't make out, not a single word, except it sounded like they were emphasizing the letter S a lot in those whispers. He woke up with a jolt and instantly turned on the light, but he was alone in that storage room. Of course, that could have been caused by the generators next door, so he began to listen carefully, even pressing his ear to the walls, but no, none of those usual sounds he was used to sounded like what he had just heard. Well, it must have been a dream, my uncle thought. That calmed him a little, only a little, because he couldn't go back to sleep there that night. Days passed, and my uncle told me that from time to time he had to draw blood from a somewhat young woman who, according to him, seemed a little crazy. He said that when he first met her she was the opposite, very intelligent, lucid, and very kind. He didn't know when or why exactly she changed. Whenever she saw him she would be so happy, laughing and practically shouting through the hospital, "He's the one who treats me," and she would always hug my uncle. But on that occasion, as usual, he approached her to insert the needle and draw her blood, and that same sound that had several times stolen his sleep in the dark storage room began coming from her ear, that whisper that had woken him. My uncle, of course, immediately recognized it and froze. He didn't even want to look at her. Before he could say or do anything, she told him in a mocking tone, followed by a laugh my uncle never forgot, "I'll tell you something. I'm a witch." When he told me all this he showed me the hairs on his arms standing up. His skin had completely goosebumped as he recounted it. He said he didn't say anything, he just finished his work as best he could and told the rest of the staff that he would no longer be able to attend to that woman. And indeed, he never saw her again. In fact, she simply stopped coming.